They have left me for dead. Follow me, you can follow me. I'll keep you safe.
Hello, this is In the Dugout, your home of the beautiful game, and welcome back to the Club Core, which is returning for 2 additional episodes to cover the 2 new teams to have entered the Football League following promotion last season. So, let's kick off. In this episode, we're covering Forest Green Rovers. Forest Green Rovers Football Club are a side currently playing in the 4th tier of English football, the Sky Bet League 2, following promotion from the National League via the playoffs at the end of the 2016-17 season, beating Tranmere Rovers 3-1 in the final. Known by a number of nicknames, including the Green Devils, Rovers, and the Little Club on the Hill, the club, often abbreviated to FGR, was founded in 1889 by Reverend E.J.H. Peach, a nonconformist church minister, with the club known back then as just Forest Green. The Rovers suffix was then added in 1893, but during the 1980s, in an attempt to change the club's fortunes, the name was once again changed, this time to Stroud FC. But this proved deeply unpopular with supporters and was swiftly changed back in 1992. The team also prides itself on being the first ever vegan club, following the team's purchase by Ecotricity owner Dale Vince in 2010, a businessman who aimed to make the club more eco-friendly by removing red meat from players' diets and preventing the sale of meat products in the grounds. After 19 consecutive seasons in the National League, their promotion at the end of last season through the playoffs means that FGR reached the Football League for the first time in their history. Based in the town of Nailsworth in Gloucestershire, Forest Green's first home was known as the Lawn Ground, located at the top of the hill, hence their nickname as the Little Club on the Hill. This had been little more than an open field until the 1950s, but was eventually demolished and turned into housing, while the club moved to a modern stadium in 2006. The stadium in question is the New Lawn. While this ground is due to be replaced by a newer stadium nearer to the M5 motorway, and progressing the eco-friendly message by being made entirely of wood, it still sits atop a hill just as their previous ground had. Holding 5,032 people, with 2,000 seated, the New Lawn is the smallest both in the current League 2 season and the current Football League, with a capacity 25 less than the previous smallest, Accrington Stanley's Crown Ground. FGR adopted their current badge in 2011, replacing one which bore resemblance to that of Barcelona. The change was made following a request by the club asking fans to design a new logo. The badge consists of a white circle outlined in green and black, with the club's full name in black written around the outside. Within the white circle is a black and white football, supported by a lion and a unicorn, and surmounted by the club initials and their foundation year, as well as 3 black stripes. The supporters on the badge come from the coat of arms of the United Kingdom, with the lion coming from that of England and the unicorn from Scotland. Meanwhile, the black stripes come from the club's old kit colours, playing in black and white stripes for nearly 100 years. The green on the badge comes from part of the club's current home colours, adopted in 2012 to replace the aforementioned black and white. The white was replaced with green, and the stripes replaced with hoops. The current home kit is the same as that which they wore last season, and features this same modern design, with green and black hoops on the shirt, black shoulders, and a green collar. The shorts are green with a black trim down the thigh, and the socks feature the same green and black hoops as on the shirt. The away kit also remains the same as last season, and swaps out the green for white. These kits are currently produced by German manufacturer Puma, and have been since 2014. Forest Green are currently managed by Englishman Mark Cooper, who took charge at the New Lawn in May 2016, replacing Adrian Pennock. Having been a midfielder during his playing career, when he was appointed, FGR had just reached the playoff final, but then caretaker Scott Bartlett took charge for that match, which they lost 3-1 to Grimsby Town. A year later, Cooper saw his team in the same position, but this time a 3-1 scoreline was in favour of the Gloucestershire side, gaining Football League status for the first time in its club history as they beat Tranmere Rovers. FGR's nearest local rivals are non-league side Gloucester City, with whom the club contests the Gloucestershire Derby, a fixture dubbed by some fans as El Glossico. While they also hold smaller rivalries with other clubs in the West Country, Gloucester City are the main enemy. This came about through Gloucester having to ground share at the New Lawn, but this ended on sour terms, and Gloucester were forced further away from their home, having to ground share with Cirencester Town instead. All of Forest Green's trophies come from the lower leagues of English football, with their most prized possession being the FA Vase won in 1982, beating Rainworth Miners Welfare 3-0 at the original Wembley Stadium. Further trophies include a Southern League title and a Hellenic League title. Famous FGR fans include former cricketer Jack Russell. Forest Green Rovers have cemented their place as a modern, forward-thinking club. While not everyone agrees with veganism, FGR are fresh meat in the Football League, but refuse to be a club put on the back burner. The earth moves for Forest Green, and given time, the little club on the hill will ground themselves in the EFL and plant the seeds of success. Thanks for watching. This has been Chris from In the Dugout. Tune in for the next episode of the Club Core, where we shall be covering the other team to be promoted to League 2 after last season, in the form of Lincoln City. Until then, farewell.